Hey everybody, this is Heather, WRAL's Hidden Historian. I'm looking a little pink because I've been out in the sun for quite a while today exploring these beautiful, beautiful gardens. So I'm kind of going to cover 3 stories with one live stream. So this week I've been visiting waterfalls that are in Raleigh, or at least very close to Raleigh. So today I'm at a place where there's a beautiful waterfall, and I'm going to show that to you. But I've also done live streams about redwood trees and beautiful redwood groves that are in Raleigh or near Raleigh. And there's actually a redwood grove here as well. So we have a waterfall, we have a redwood grove, and this garden has exotic plants that you literally can't find anywhere else in the entire world because they've crossbred them here. They also have plants that you really can find only in other countries that they've brought here. And they're opening for this weekend and next weekend only to let people come and look around. It's incredible. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with the waterfall because this has been my theme for the week. So starting on Monday, I did a story on waterfalls that you can find in Raleigh, because a lot of times you think, well, you need to go to the mountains to see a beautiful waterfall. And that's not the case. This summer, if you want to go around and see some waterfalls, there's a lot that you can see right here in the Triangle area. So we're going to start by showing you the waterfall, but there's so much here. It kind of covers multiple stories. There's a waterfall, there's a redwood grove over there, and if you've been following the century plant at WRAL, they've got multiple century plants here that are in bloom with these huge tall stalks. They have a corpse plant. They really just have about everything here. So I'm going to start by showing you this waterfall. Earlier this week, let me know if you can hear me because it's loud. Earlier this week, I went to the Lassiter Mill waterfall, and I went to the Yates Mill waterfall. And now we're here at this waterfall at the Juniper Level Botanic Garden. Now they're opening this weekend. They only open 2 weekends every season. So you can't come and see these places very often. But twice a season, they open to the public and they let people come walk around and see. This botanic garden is, I believe it's 28 acres? 28 acres. Definitely over 25 acres, we'll just say that. Over 25 acres of plants that Tony Avent, who is the one who really started this place on his own property, growing these gardens on his own land back in the 80s, he has just been collecting and going around the world collecting these rare and beautiful plants. You really wouldn't be able to see them anywhere else except for coming here. There's actually, and some of the places, some of the plants here, they've actually created here, so you really can't see them anywhere else. On top of all of the plants they have, again, they have this redwood grove. There are not many redwood groves in North Carolina. I did a story recently about a beautiful redwood grove that is at Town Hall. Just peek through there and see some of the stuff that's that way. So there is a beautiful redwood grove at Town Hall. I did not realize that they had a redwood grove here as well. So here's the waterfall. This is actually one of several waterfalls that they have here. And again, it's over 25 acres out here. And Tony's been growing these plants since the 1980s and just really adding and adding and adding. And from what I've been hearing from him as he's shown me around today, oh, look at this beautiful bridge. Let's go see this first. And then I'll show you the redwood trees that are over this other direction. This is Juniper Level Botanic Garden, and they are open to the public this weekend. So the reason I'm out here today doing this story right now is because they're going to let visitors come and tour this weekend. You don't need to buy tickets. There's no admission cost. You can just come and see plants that you really wouldn't be able to see anywhere else. A lot of these plants are from overseas. He showed me some beautiful flowers that are native to India. They look like something from another world. They look like art. I can't describe them any other way. And of course, he's got things that are native to North Carolina here as well. Here, I'm walking through the Dawn Redwood Alley. So I'm going to show you around here. I am only going to be able to show you a fraction of the gardens here. You're going to be here this weekend? Yeah, so here we have the Dawn Redwood Alley, and he's got several here. If you are a big fan of redwood trees, I did do a story telling you where you can find redwoods all over North Carolina. We have Dawn redwoods here, but there are also some even larger redwood trees that you can find in Raleigh and in Wilson. And then of course you can find them right here. So I wanted to show these to you as well. And I'm going to try to get back around to the waterfall. Now he did mention to me to be really careful about where you step, because when you step on something, you actually might be killing the only plant of its kind in the world. That is how rare some of these plants out here are. And again, I am showing you just a fraction of the area. Really just kind of the front area. He's got a sea serpent tree that has been growing sideways, and it actually grows sideways and makes an arch that you can walk under and pose for a picture. And then it grows under a bridge. There's a little waterfall. So it kind of feels like anything that you're wanting to see. If you're wanting to see more redwood trees, if you're wanting to see more waterfalls that are in Raleigh, if you're wanting to see rare plants that you can't find anywhere else, all of that stuff is out here. And there's no admission cost. You just come. If you want to know more about how to come and tour, again, it's more than 25 acres. So there's quite a lot to be done out here. And you're going to see plants that you've never seen before. Probably hundreds of plants you've never seen before. He told me they have more than 27,000 types of plants here, including plants that he's created himself from nothing. Here's the waterfall again. But if you want to learn how to come visit this place for yourself, I'm going to take you out to show you one of the agave. The information on how to come here and see this place, I've put the link up in the description of the post. So if you click that, that's going to have more information about how to come here this weekend or next weekend. It's only open 2 weekends each season. So this is your chance to see it for the summer. Tony was telling me a lot of people do tend to come, but he did say summer is less popular than spring. And he says that's really sad because the summer has so many unique plants and flowers to offer. I saw these beautiful hibiscus flowers. Again, I don't know the names of most of the flowers, but he showed me just dozens and dozens of things that I've never seen. And what else they have that's interesting, if you're a big plant lover, they actually have these little tags with a QR code on really like all of the plants. And that's going to let you see more information about each plant. So if you're really wanting to learn more about it, this is one way to do it. I'm going to walk you this way real quick because I wanted to show you this agave. So many of you have come to the WRAL garden. By the way, this is a really cool flower. Doesn't it look like a firework just shooting out sideways? And they're shooting out everywhere. By the way, you will see so many pollinators out here. Butterflies are everywhere. I swear I saw a fairy, right? It's magical. Hello. So I'm going to walk you through here real quick. There it is. Okay. So some of you have come to see the century plant at WRAL, and our century plant is really cool. In the wild, a century plant blooms. It can take up to 100 years to bloom, and then it dies immediately after. So and they get huge. They start like a pretty big agave plant like this, but then they bloom with a like a bloom spike that turns into a big, well, it looks like it basically gets a big spike that grows and grows and grows and grows. And the one we have is over 20 feet tall now that it's grown. Well, this one is one of the largest agave plants that they have out here. The plant itself is over 6 feet tall. I had Tony stand next to it. He's the one who, again, really started with building this garden back in the 80s. And this plant is taller than him. When it blooms, this is definitely going to get much, much bigger than the century plant that you've seen in the WRAL gardens. So they've got several of these here that are blooming. I'm going to see if I can find the one that I saw when I walked in. And again, this is just the front. If you want to see the whole gardens, again, there's there's more than 25 acres out here. Here we go. I see one out here blooming. I'm going to show it to you. So today I was really trying to cover multiple stories at once to get the story about the waterfalls that you can find in this area, but also to tell you about that this really beautiful and unique place is opening for 2 weekends only. Look at this beautiful arrangement here. I see a century plant. We're going to head towards it. They have so many types of gardens here. They have gardens that are in the water, gardens that are desert gardens. Really just plants that you won't see anywhere else. Okay, so this should look kind of familiar if you've been to the WRAL century plant. This plant is a lot smaller than the one we have at WRAL. This base part of the agave, much smaller. This is shorter than me. The one at WRAL is at least 5 feet tall, just the base part of the plant. But the stalk, it's got to be 20 feet tall, maybe taller. And one thing they do out here is they actually will create their own agave by climbing up these ladders and, well, crossbreeding agave. So that's how they have so many agave plant out here, so many unique plants, is they're creating them themselves. And they're bringing them, again, Tony and his crew, they travel all over the world. So you will see plants that you've never seen before. Probably hundreds of plants you've never seen before. So I'm going to walk back towards the waterfall. So again, this week I've been doing a series on waterfalls that you can find that are in or near Raleigh. This place is perfect because it has several beautiful waterfalls that actually have like a little cave behind them, and that you can sit. They have little seating areas on the top. You can just sit there and listen to the water. But this place also covers several other types of stories I've done in the past. Century plants that are blooming, corpse plant, which is the plant that puts off that awful smell. That one's not blooming right now, don't worry, but it's still interesting and fascinating. And then, of course, having a redwood alley. Here's another one of those really huge agave. When these bloom, they're going to be huge. I definitely want to do a story when those start to bloom. So I'm going to take you back to the waterfall because that's where it's coolest. It's definitely warm out here today. Tip, if you do come here this weekend, it's a pretty obvious tip, but I'm just letting you know. Definitely wear a hat, sunscreen, bring a water bottle. It's pretty warm and there's a lot of direct sunlight. So let's go back and see the waterfall one more time. And again, I'm really just showing you the first little entryway to 25 plus acres of plants that you've never seen before. There are hundreds of stories here to be told. Each of these plants has a unique history coming from other countries. Tony told me that there are plants in the world that have just yet to be discovered. And so he works on trying to discover those plants and bringing them here. So here's the waterfall. Yes, Jennifer, there's a redwood alley. I walked through it earlier in the live stream. It's right down there. There's basically a walkway you can go down with dawn redwood trees on either side of you. Very beautiful. If you're a big fan of seeing redwood trees, I would recommend coming here to see their redwoods. They have the alley as well as another really big dawn redwood that's got ivy growing up it. It's beautiful. There's also a redwood grove in the downtown Cary. So one more look here. All right, everybody. So thank you for joining me today for exploring more waterfalls that are right here in Raleigh, as well as looking at some redwood trees, some century plants, and pretty much multiple stories that I've done stories on. They have a plant like that or something like that here. So this place is really cool. It's been quite fun to explore it and take the tour today myself. Again, it's open to the public this weekend and next weekend. The times are in the on the website. So if you click on the web story that I've linked above, click through there, and then that's going to have a link to their website, and you can see exactly what times they're open. But again, you don't need to buy a ticket. There's no admission cost. You can just come and walk around. You can explore all of the 25 plus acres, or you can come and just walk around the front. It's beautiful either way. There's a lot of shady areas, but it's pretty warm, so I would definitely bring some water with you. Anyway, if you're wanting to see waterfalls, redwood trees, century plants, all of that right here. And again, it's only open for 2 weekends, and then it will not be open again until fall. And these plants won't be here anymore in the fall. I mean, they'll be here, but they won't be in bloom. So there'll be new ones in the autumn. But you can come every season if you just want to see it all year round. In the winter, the waterfall behind me actually freezes over, and if it's cold enough. And they sent me a picture of this complete ice waterfall. It was really cool looking. So take a look at the story. Again, it's in the post. And I hope that you'll come out here this weekend. It's a really cool weekend thing to do, and there's a lot to see. Thank you for joining me this week to explore all these waterfalls around Raleigh. Thank you for those of you who sent me new waterfalls to explore. They are now on my to-do list. Maybe we'll have a waterfall article part 2. Thank you again so much, and I'm going to go get some water. See you next time. Bye, everybody.